The Grand Prix in Interlagos, Brazil, you can never be short of surprise. But let me start with the weather. The weather for Sunday is predictably that there will be rain on Sunday, and there's 60% chance of rain, with the temperature going from 28 degrees to like 17 degrees towards the race. It's going to be a surprise because Interlagos brings its own surprises. And tomorrow, which is the sprint race and the main qualifying, we're having 40% chance of rain, with the weather, the sprint race 25 degrees or 28 degrees to 17 degrees during the qualifying, which also today Friday, which is going to be the same, but there's 20% chance of rain. We also know that in Interlagos anything can happen. It can decide the drivers championship or constructors championship, and it can also undecide it. And when the weather comes, Interlagos can change anything, but you cannot miss it. From upgrades, we saw the McLaren upgrade, the Scoopy Ski DRS wings. That wings, you can put eba and soup in it, the way it scoops in, and it won't fall. You will enjoy your eba confidently and comfortably. It looks more like the RB20, but in a different shape, and everybody brought a track specific rear wings, but the McLaren looks like it fits both for the high speed and the low rake wings. It can work anywhere from what we are looking at, and that is what I think they need for now, so that they can bring less upgrades to the track. Also, I'm talking about Max. I did a shot that I said Max could be somebody that you look at and you be like, Max can do this. Wow, could be a very nice person. But in racing, when he's in that helmet, whatever he needs to win, he does. He doesn't care. Oga, go and tell it on the mountain. I am not here to be part of the whatever. I'm here to win, and that is what he does. The guy, when he came to Brazil, that wanted him to sign an autograph for him, but the guy was unable to approach Max for the autograph. And Max saw him, and Max walked up to him, signed the autograph, and patted him and moved off. You know, that is what we want to see in F1, and it is wonderful. Oliver Biermann will be replacing Kevin Magnussen in our Sao Paulo on Friday running. We don't know if Magnussen will be well tomorrow, but he's feeling unwell. Let's see what happens to him. Oliver Biermann did a great job in FP1. He was stored on soft tires. Not all the drivers went on soft tires, and some did patchy runs because they don't want to show their true speed. And also, to Lawson and Perez's clash, I think Lawson has apologized, but still insisting he wants that seat. He is not here to play, and if Oga, you are not careful, I'm getting that seat from you. Colapinto has been in the news for the past few days, going to Sauber, Red Bull approaching him. Where is he going next? And also Williams not releasing him. Where is he going next? We don't know yet, but we can see that even during FP1, Red Bull team principal Chris Horner was at Williams' hospitality, and we know what he could do. You know, now he's always there to always look for ways to you know, I don't want to say it, but certainly he was there, and we believe he's there to ask for Colapinto's hand in marriage to Red Bull. Colapinto can move to Sauber. Possibly they can steal him in the future. The reality of Sauber is they've not even signed anybody for the second seat, and they're looking at Colapinto. Now, with Magnussen impressing the last few races, they're also looking at Magnussen. If Sauber are picking on Magnussen, now they're picking the whole ass team drivers. They picked Nico Hülkenberg. If they pick Kevin Magnussen, wow. They are taking the oldies from us. But let's see if they will be picking Magnussen or probably Colapinto, or will they retain Valtteri Bottas? Valtteri Bottas is still saying he's open to go back to Mercedes as a reserve driver or test driver. He doesn't care. He's old. He's in his 30s, and he knows the young guns are really picking up and they are here to not play. And those guys are not funny. They don't care. It's going to be an interesting season 2025-2026. With those saying that, oh, Lewis is old, Alonso is old, but these guys are still performing. I don't understand. If Alonso is 43 and he's still giving all those performances, and some people are retired in their 30s and they can come and start bad mouthing, and when you get to a certain age, you are no more fast. Please don't compare your life with others. Alonso is different. He's cut from a different cloth. Lewis is different. He's cut from a different cloth. Even Hülkenberg is different. He's doing a massive thing. He's about 35 or 36 and he's doing something massive. So if you think, hey, the age does not matter to these guys. They want to perform. The track has been relined or resurfaced and is giving a lot of the drivers issues. They're having bumpiness and bouncing. Like Lewis Hamilton complained FP1 about the bouncing on the track. But we would know in the main race if they can give him a right setup. But most of the drivers are complaining because some part of the pit lane and some part of the track has been resurfaced. Mercedes probably might screw up themselves because with what is happening, they said they are bringing floor, which we know they will bring, and they are bringing a new chassis for George Russell. Let's see if that really happens. They've run the race. We will look at the technical details of what they've brought for Russell and for Hamilton. We can see that they are going to do a lot of learning on both cars towards the end of the season. Both cars are going to go through learning. They've already secured their fourth place. They are not moving higher or moving lower. It's only those at the top that are fighting themselves. Mercedes will only be in fourth because Aston Martin in fifth cannot catch up with them, and Mercedes in fourth cannot catch up with those above. So let them maintain. So what they are trying to do is bring a lot of 2026 upgrades bits to test on the 2025 upgrades and bits to test on 2024 car and see how it will work for them. That is the only thing Mercedes is left with to do. But let's see how it works for them. But they are hopefully bringing upgrades to their floor. And that might be their last upgrade because George Russell has beaten them and passed them out of cost car because Mercedes cannot do much upgrades again. The last upgrade they'll be bringing should be this floor because George Russell 2 crashes or 3 crashes in 2 races. That is massive. So, but let's see what they are able to do with what they have and the chassis they brought. If that will help them, it's left for them. Max Verstappen will be taking a 5-place grid penalty for using his 6th engine, in which he has started using already. 6th engine to win Drivers' Championship. He could recover really well because he might still change the engine one more time. That engine is not look so reliable because they are using more power from the engine like they've been doing before 22. They are doing that, they might even change the engine one more time. They've used 6 engines. And probability of using one more engine for Max Verstappen is there. And will that help him in the championship? I don't know. And that might also not help him. But Brazil is a place in which he can pass easily and he can fight. So if he can do that, qualify top and do some fighting, maybe he will still beat some points to Norris. But the McLaren looks fast. But up until the qualifying, we will know who is highly up there or who is sandbagging. Mercedes, they might start from the pit lane. If the upgrades they've brought, if they don't work, they will start from the pit lane because they've broken 2 curfews for George Russell. Rebuilding his car in Mexico, they broke the curfew. I think also they broke a curfew in Austin and they have the last curfew to break. They are going to rebuild the 2 cars. They might have to start from the pit lane in Brazil. But I know Mercedes will not want to compromise their race and start from pit lane. But let's see how they run that. The FP1 really looks interesting. A lot of people trying to shape in laps and trying to set up the right setup because the FP1 is only the place in which you can get your setup and also your race simulation and your qualifying simulation, and you can see how the drivers and the cars are behaving to get that set up and see how they can run it. A lot of teams are splitting the strategy, one car running the qualifying strategy while the other car is running the race simulation. So a lot of things are happening, but let's see how that really translates. The sprint qualifying. So I'll give you more information on the sprint qualifying. What was sprint qualifying? It was ballistic. It was very interesting. The McLarens were on top of their speed as soon as possible. They were churning some good lap times in, and they made it very difficult for other teams to understand what they were doing. Now, in sprint qualifying, that's the SQ1. They are normally going to use the medium tires, and the cloud was looking very, very lovely because it was about coming in clouds. Unfortunately, Lando Norris went into the middle 1 minute 9 seconds, which is pretty impressive and very, very fast. And you look at that, you already understand that these guys are set to bring in some good lap times. They are not here to play. The McLarens are not here to play. But in the long run, we have 16th Alonso. The Mercedes scraped out. We're lucky to get out of the Q1 with Fernando Alonso coming out 16th, Esteban Ocon 17th. Yuki Tsunoda had a pretty bad lap. A lot of drivers were complaining about the bouncing. The track evolution was so high, and we have Lance Stroll coming out 19th and Zhou Guanyu 20th. Valtteri Bottas did a good job too. To get into SQ2. For that Sauber to get into, he outdrove the car. It was a good one. But with a great job from McLaren, SQ2, the McLarens were churning out good times and both of them were up on the timesheet. In SQ2, with Hamilton out in 11th position, Lewis Hamilton out in SQ2. Nico Hülkenberg out, Sergio Perez was unable to set good lap times in and he was out. If you look at Sergio Perez's time, it was quite competitive, especially in SQ1. He was even ahead of Max Verstappen. I think he came in with new chassis for this race, and the setup is much more different. His upgrades are much more different than his teammates. It was not much of a challenge for him, but on the last lap for him, he was unable to get to the line, and that was it for him. The track evolution helped a lot of other drivers, and they got out of SQ2, but he was unable to get out as he got out of SQ2 in P13. Colapinto got 14th and Valtteri Bottas 15th. But going into the SQ3, which was the major, the bananas, McLaren went into the 1 minute 8 seconds. The 2 McLaren. Lando Norris went into the 1 minute 8 seconds at first, and his teammate was close to him, but not close enough. Charles Leclerc was able to split them, and Max Verstappen came surging in 4th, but with 3/10 behind the McLaren, which is pretty impressive for him. But those McLarens are fast. That rear wing, I am sure Chris Horner will complain. they will start reading the rule book to see the technicalities and see what they are missing and what these guys have made mistake about. They are going to look into it. I trust Chris Horner. He would look into it because he wants to win one of the championship, and I'm sure it will be too late for him because that rear wings are compliant. The two McLarens went into the 1 minute 8 seconds, while others were just in the 1 minute 9, the lower 1 minute 9. They did a very good job. Oscar Piastri outpacing his teammate Lando Norris for P1 in the sprint at 1 minute 8:99, and his teammate Lando Norris was just 200th away from him. Charles Leclerc third, Verstappen fourth, Carlos Sainz fifth, George Russell sixth. The sixth George Russell had could have been seventh if Oliver Biermann had stayed in his time. And Oliver Biermann is a rookie, made a mistake. He could have gone again, but that time he set that was deleted was quite impressive. Could have given him sixth. Pierre Gasly seventh, Liam Lawson eighth, Alex Albon ninth, and Oliver Biermann, his lap deleted, came in 10th. What a good qualifying for those two young guys for their first sprint race of the season, qualifying in SQ3. But the sprint race tomorrow will be very, very interesting. Will they be able to hold their pace? We know the Mercedes comes alive in races, but will George Russell be able to challenge those in front of him? It will be very, very interesting to see how this all pans out. With Liam Lawson putting that VCAP that will be changing their name back to Racing Bull next year in P8 is massively impressive. Yes, VCAP are going back to Racing Bull in 2025. It is disheartening to see how these guys keep changing name as if it's something else. Well, up until tomorrow for the sprint race and the main qualifying. I love guys. Bye. Chi. Ooh, ah.